Hey, good morning, friends. It's Carl. Welcome to the bathroom. Sunday morning. Time for the Silky Smooth Sunday shave. Hope you had a good weekend. Mine was pretty good. All right, well, it's about, I don't know, just after 6 a.m. Sunday morning. Got to get shaved up, get cleaned up, get ready for church. And what are we going to be using? We'll be using the RazoRock XXX Fantastic Italian Soap. It's got a nice cologne scent. I don't know how to describe it. Be using the Dovo Shavette with the red insert, so it's a half Nace blade by Gillette. First use on that. VDH Boss synthetic brush. And for the post, since I don't have any matching scents, we're gonna go real simple. We're gonna go Thayers and Lucky Tiger. And for the coffee, vintage mug. Just Coffee Co-op's Mayan Super Dark Roast. Beautiful dark chocolatey roast. Ground with a burr grinder percolated cup this morning. Fantastic. All right, let's get shaving. Yeah, so hope everybody had a good weekend. Like I said, mine was okay. Just started getting stuff ready for the move. Did the first little round of purging, got rid of some stuff, took it to the Sally. Also met up with a buddy of mine. I've been storing a gun cabinet for him for a couple of years. Since I moved into this apartment, I had a little more space. He needed a spot to store a gun cabinet as he was moving to a smaller apartment. So I had it out in my closet for a couple of years. Actually forgot all about it. Then when I started going through stuff, getting ready to move, I should say, found it, hit him up. He had actually forgotten all about that cabinet too. So we got it moved. It's now back in his possession. We had a good time hanging out. We hadn't seen each other in a couple of years probably. So it was good to catch up with him. And when I say a couple, I mean probably close to 4 or 5. But anyway, he got his gun cabinet back, and it's one less thing for me to have to worry about. So all is good. Other than that, it's been a pretty typical and uneventful weekend for me. Kind of chilled at the house, did my regular cleaning routine, getting ready for church. That's about it. No time with the lady this weekend, but it's the way it goes. Life happens, and schedules don't always mesh, that kind of thing. So hopefully there'll be some time later in the week or the upcoming weekend. We shall see. Well, that lathered up nice and quickly. It was cool yesterday when I got a chance to talk with my buddy. He's a pretty popular Instagrammer when it comes to custom toys and action figures. And he was talking about wanting to set up a YouTube channel. So he picked my brain a little bit about how YouTube works. And as far as his application in YouTube, I don't have a lot of experience with it because, you know, he's going to be doing toy reviews and stuff like that. And I don't have a lot of experience with material that may be copyrighted or actual toy reviews or custom toy making. But what I can tell you is I know those channels can be pretty popular. So, you know, I gave him the lowdown on how monetization works and all that kind of stuff. And I think he'd probably get monetized pretty quick once he gets some content, because he has I want to say he has about 3,000 Instagram followers. So even if a third of his Instagram followers followed him just because he said he started a YouTube channel. Whether they ever watch his content or not, he'll hit the sub requirement for sure. And then it would just be a matter of getting the hours, the watched hours needed to hit that monetization scale. Which, like I told him, you know, this toy channels are pretty popular, especially with the popularity of cosplay and stuff. He'd probably hit his watched content in no time, especially since he does a lot of custom work in scenes. He's really, I mean, really pretty creative. You know, he takes his action figures and he sets them up in scenes from movies, from the movies that they're from, or from comic books, or he does his own, and then he photographs them. And they look like just movie quality prints, you know, seen straight out of the movie, except for it's toys. It's pretty interesting. He's been doing that for a long time. He just gets better and better with every set. So it's pretty interesting. I don't remember how much growth I had there. Probably 3 days. Something like that. No, probably closer to 4. I don't know, when was the last time I shaved when I cut my head? Thursday. It's a Thursday. That was the last shave I had when I cut the ever-living snot out of my head. So what else? Let's see. Work is work. Staying busy. Watched a few YouTube videos yesterday, not too many. Tried to catch up with the usual suspects, you know, Johan, Justin, Nomeo. Jill, Mati, Johnny. There's probably a few more that I watched and a ton more I need to watch. Alright, first pass in the books. Oh, RazoRock XXX. I forgot how nice this soap is. This is one of the first soaps I ever bought. And last year, when I did the single soap challenge, I thought about picking this one to kind of use until it was all gone. And I decided that I would go with something a little older and that was just more ready to get rid of. But I mean, even after 3 or 4 years of wet shaving, sitting in the cabinet with very little use, it has retained its scent very well. I wish I could describe it better, but it just has a very kind of fresh cologne scent. Ooh, I just cut myself. I think I did. We shall see. Felt like it. I've been cutting myself a lot lately. I probably should pay more attention to what I'm doing. Stop talking so much, maybe. Oh yeah, that's a good cut too. Son of a gun. That's not going to be pretty. That's going to leave a scar. Wow, that's dumb. That was a dumb cut. I came up and I came across like a moron. Definitely got to pay more attention to what I'm doing. Had a rough night's sleep last night. Had thought the insomnia was getting better. I've been falling asleep pretty easily and staying asleep until about 4 or 5. There was only one night last week where I woke up around 2 or 3. So I thought I was light at the end of the tunnel, but for whatever reason last night, not only I could not fall asleep, so a lot of things running through my brain. So I didn't fall asleep until after midnight. And was up at 2:45-ish. I did snooze a little bit off and on after that, but not enough to really call it sleep. It wasn't deep or satisfying. And so yeah, it's gonna be a long day. I did catch a little nap yesterday afternoon after I finished cleaning the apartment. I was listening to a podcast. I don't even remember what podcast it was. Honestly, I was laying on the couch. I texted a little bit with the lady. And next thing I know is, 45 minutes or so after or later. I don't know what podcast it was. I don't know what they were talking about. All I know is I turned it on with the intent of listening, and the next thing I know, I was out. I woke up. I guess that was about 6, a little before 6. Next thing I know, it was like 6:30, almost 7, something like that. Oh, as time goes by, it just bleeds more. That's gonna need some attention. Luckily, it doesn't feel very deep. think that's the face shave. Let's get rinsed off. Let's see how bad. Oh yeah, that hurts. Let's see if we can stop it with some regular alum, or if I'm going to need to get the maybe bust out the Goo Goo Juice, as old Mr. Rib would call it. So tell you what, guys and gals out there, I do my Sunday shaves because I'm getting ready for church in the morning, and for the past few months I've been thinking and praying a lot, and I do believe it's time to find a new church, which is kind of disappointing. But the little church I've been going to is just not really growing. I don't feel like I'm growing much there. I love the people, but we're just so small. It just doesn't seem to be moving forward. And I know it's not about my timing, it's about God's timing. But I'm just a little impatient, I guess. But I don't feel enthusiastic or excited to go anymore. Kind of feel like I'm just going through the motions. So after quite a bit of praying, and I really do feel and believe that it's time to move on, which kind of sucks because the last thing that little church needs is another person to leave, you know? I mean, we're 10 people as it is, and you know, if I leave, the pastor's youngest daughter is about to leave to go to nursing school in Florida at the Pensacola Christian College, I think. So it just continues to shrink. I'm kind of sad about it, but I'm at peace about it too. I mean, I'm gonna miss the people, and I really feel like I made an obligation that I'm kind of stepping away from. But I do feel that it's the right decision. Like I said, it's not something I took lightly. It's not something I've rushed into. These are the kind of feelings and thoughts I've had probably since the summer, shortly after we sold the building and moved into the karate dojo. Shortly after that, I started having kind of these thoughts, and so it's not, like I said, it's nothing new. It's nothing that I'm rushing into. It's something I've been thinking about and considering for a while, and just over the past couple months, probably since October, November, somewhere around there, it really has just been not very enjoyable to go to church. Not that the messages are bad, not that there's no, like I said, there's nothing wrong with the church as far as like doctrine or preaching or any of that kind of stuff. We're just not growing, and I'm just discouraged, and I don't feel like that's where I need to be worshiping anymore, because I don't feel like I'm worshiping there. I feel like I'm going out of obligation to the pastor and the people of the church, rather than going with a true heart of worship to seek the face of the Lord. And that's not good. And I mean, I'm sure you guys can tell by my countenance that it's not something I'm the most excited about, because it's going to be a hard conversation to have. I'm going to leave some good people, and like I said, going to leave them in a lurch. So I'm a little bummed out about it, but I am at peace with the decision, if that makes sense. Like, in my spirit, I believe it's the right thing to do, to move on and find another place to worship. But there is a part of me that is sad to leave the people. And like I said, I feel like I'm backing out of a commitment that I made to stick around and help the church grow. So I'm thinking maybe this weekend and next weekend will probably be my last weekends there. Not 100% sure. I know next weekend the pastor's going to be out of town, moving his daughter to Florida. So we're going to have a guest speaker in, and so they're going to need help doing the church setup and stuff since we're going to be just a few. And if I back out this week, then there's going to be like one guy to set the church up for Sunday services. Now, taking it down would be a different story because the guest pastor and whoever he brings, I think he's going to have some of his sons, and we'll be there to help with the teardown, but I don't think they'll be available to help with the setup. I've got to watch that little rough back there from where I cut my head on Thursday. That closed up pretty nicely. So yeah, like I said, I'm bummed in one aspect, but then I'm at peace on another level. Like I said, that may not make sense, but it does to me. It does to me, and it's like I said, it's not something I took very lightly, for sure, because I don't want to be the guy that bounces from church to church. I mean, I've been to a handful of churches in my Christian career. Some good, some not so good, and finding a place to call home is not easy. And I thought I had found it here at Hallmark or not New Beginnings, but Open Door. But I guess that's not the case. So yeah, like I said, tough decision to make. It's going to be an even tougher discussion to have with the pastor. And so now I just got to figure out when to do it. I don't know if I should do it today after or wait until after he comes back from moving his daughter. I kind of feel like it's to, tear the Band-Aid off, but I also don't want to, if I say, well, I'm going to step away from the church, then I don't want him to be like, well, okay, well then what are we going to do about next Sunday? So, I don't know. Guess I have a few hours to figure that out. But yeah, like I said, kind of stinks. Because I'm gonna miss some good people. And I don't know how many of you guys who watch are churchgoers, but my experience is that when you leave a church, no matter if it's on good terms or bad terms, how close you are with the people, if the church is the common thread in your friendships, then you lose those friendships, which sucks. But that is kind of just par for the course. Right or wrong, that's kind of what tends to happen. So, I don't know. It's going to be some weird days ahead, everybody. It's going to be some weird days ahead, like I said. But I'm okay with the decision. There's no animosity towards anybody on my end. I hope there's no animosity on anybody's end towards me leaving. That's going to be the hardest part. Like, how is the pastor going to take it? How's his family? How the rest of the church family going to take it? Because I also feel like I have a responsibility to my friend. I've talked about him here before, that I pick up for church every other Sunday. He's got some learning disabilities and some cognitive issues, and he may not understand why I'm leaving the church, and it's going to make it harder for him to get to church, if at all. So that was a big consideration too. But at the end of the day, it's the right thing to do for me. And it may sound a little selfish, but that is kind of where my head is. Speaking of heads, fantastic head shave. Don't feel like I reopened that cut back there. I don't see any blood. This one seems to be closed up pretty well. I might have a little, you guys can see it. Oh, I might get a little scar from that. The trick is going to be to keep it from bleeding. Alright, it's a beautiful shave there. Let's get this off. Fantastic. All right, let's get the post going. Little Thayers, witch hazel. Well, this isn't. Yeah, this is Thayers. And then a little Lucky Tiger gifted to me by Trevi B. Hope you're doing okay, my friend. Haven't seen or heard from you in a while. So. Also got an email or a Facebook message from Rock and Roll Matti Lindholm. He asked me if Santa Claus had delivered a package to me. So I'm thinking there may be a snipe somewhere in the post, but I have not seen it yet. So Matti, if you watch this, I checked with the apartment complex. They're getting really bad about package notifications. I had a couple of packages waiting, but one of them was not from you. So I hope it didn't get lost in the mail. Hopefully whatever it is, it shows up pretty soon. So. All right, that's it. That's all. Thank you guys and gals so much for spending a little time with me this morning. Sorry the chat was a little somber, but some heavy things happening in the life of Carl. But good things are ahead. So there you go. Always got to look forward. See what's coming on the horizon, right? Anyway, thanks a lot for spending some time with me. No matter what you do, go spend some time with your friends and family because it's very important. Hope you have a great Sunday. Hope the upcoming week treats you well. God bless. I'll see you next time.